Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NFL Week 13. My name is Sia Nejad with WinDailySports.com. Just like every week, I give you my 3 favorite plays against the spread and my 3 favorite games to play in daily fantasy. Let's get started. The Jacksonville Jaguars travel to Minnesota to play the playoff-relevant Minnesota Vikings. Listen, the Minnesota Vikings are going to win this game, but it's 10.5 points. That spread is way too big. Take the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Washington football team, on almost 2 weeks of rest, at least a week and a half of rest, they travel to Pittsburgh to play the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, but an undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers that are on very short rest. I love the spot that Washington is in here. They're playing better both on offense and defense. We know their defense is formidable, and we know that Pittsburgh typically plays down to their competition. Washington is getting 8.5 points, way too much. Take Washington. Finally, the Bills travel to San Francisco. Oops, no, Arizona, because that's the new home for the 49ers. The Bills were favored by 2.5 points when this spread opened, and all of a sudden, the 49ers are favored by a point. You've lost some value if you want to take the 49ers because that line has shifted so much. With all of that said, I still like the 49ers in this spot. You might recall last week I liked the 49ers as 7-point dogs against the Rams, and the Niners won that thing outright. I really like the 49ers in this spot. They're getting healthy on both offense and defense. They continue to get healthy. They continue to get players back, and the Bills have been up and down. They probably should have lost last week to the Los Angeles Chargers. So here we are. You've lost some value. I still like the Niners -1. If it gets to 1.5 or 2, maybe it's a stay away, but take the Niners -1 or pick them wherever you can get it. The games in DFS that I like to play, we did discuss one of them already, the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Minnesota Vikings. There are so many players you can play in this game. I do want to stack the Cousins side, the Minnesota side, with Cousins, Justin Jefferson, and Adam Thielen. Listen, Dalvin Cook is definitely in play here, but he's had this workhorse role, and he's a little dinged up. He's probably going to play Sunday. You can absolutely play him, but I'd rather play James Robinson on the other side of the ball. In fact, you could play James Robinson and maybe DJ Shark, who looks like he is going to be active and playing. Play those two. Maybe you want to get tricky. You drop Shark, and you play a Chris Conley, for example, or a Keelan Cole. But have James Robinson on the Jacksonville side of this stack and pair him with a DJ Shark or a Chris Conley or a Keelan Cole if you want to get really tricky, a Laviska Shenault. On the Viking side, like I said, you can have Dalvin Cook in there, and you can have him with Kirk Cousins if you'd like. But I'd prefer perhaps Kirk Cousins. You fade the popular Dalvin Cook, and you have Kirk Cousins with both Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, or one of them. The next game I like, listen, this is a big total. This is a 53.5 point total. The Browns visit the Titans. None of these teams like to play too much defense, and that's why this is a game to stack, a game to have shares of multiple players on each side of the ball. On the Titans side, you probably want to have Tannehill, maybe with A.J. Brown, maybe even with Corey Davis, maybe with Jonnu Smith, but I like Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, who is catching the ball a little bit more, and A.J. Brown. You might not be able to afford all those. You're going to have to make some decisions there. On the other side of the ball, listen, Baker Mayfield will be able to throw it around, but I do like Kareem Hunt quite a bit, and I do like Nick Chubb quite a bit. They have been fantastic. If you're going to take a receiver, take Jarvis Landry, and I think Austin Hooper at tight end is very fantasy relevant in this game. Finally, this is a tricky one. You're probably not expecting it. I don't think Vegas is expecting it because the total is only 47. That's atypical of the games I like to typically stack because typically I like the games that are 50 or higher, sometimes in the 55, 56 point range. This is a weird stack. A lot of the superstar power is in the night games. They are not on the main slate. They're on the Monday night or the Tuesday night game, or they have a bye, frankly. So we have the Raiders at the Jets. Listen, the Raiders are coming off a complete clunker, and the Jets, well, they're just the Jets, but they can move the ball in garbage time. Sam Darnold is going to play this game. I think Denzel Mims and Brashad Perryman are very sneaky plays. They're getting plenty of targets. Jamison Crowder may be a lesser play because he's more expensive, so I'd go with the lesser priced receiver option, which is Brashad Perryman, or again, Denzel Mims, who is getting a ton of air yards and a ton of targets. On the other side of the ball, listen, we don't know if Josh Jacobs is playing. If he is not playing, play Devontae Booker because he will be cheap. On the receiver side, maybe Derek Carr with a Nelson Aguilar, or maybe Derek Carr with a Darren Waller. I would start this type of stack with a Derek Carr and Darren Waller stack, or Derek Carr and Aguilar, and I'd probably throw Devontae Booker in there, and then on the other side, I would take Mims or Perryman. That is the third stack of 3. We have the Jags at the Vikings, we have the Browns at the Titans, and we have the Raiders at the Jets. The games against the spread, again, the Jaguars plus 10.5 at the Vikings, the Washington football team plus 8.5 at Pittsburgh, and the Bills, pick 'em or +1 against the 49ers. You want to be on the 49ers in that one, -1 or pick 'em. You can hear all about these games on Fantasy Sports Radio. You can hear all about the injuries, the updates as we move towards the main slate on Sunday. I'm looking forward to Week 14, but let's stay focused on Week 13 and tune in to Win Daily Sports and tune in to Fantasy Sports Radio. See you soon.